Hey guys, some stupid sketch show guy here with the first of a series that I want to start called Dino Figure Top 10s. Now, this is definitely not an original idea, as many people have made figure top 10s about species, but I want to add a little bit of personality and voice, and not just a slideshow of these 10 things. Sorry, Dino Toy Blog, that's kind of your big weakness. But, yeah, so the first of these figure videos is going to be on the top 10 Therizinosaurid figures. Now, the reason why it's Therizinosaurids is because without it, I would not have enough Therizinosaurus figures to make a top 10. So I had to kind of widen it to Therizinosaurids, and I just barely got there. So without further ado, let's get into the list. At number 10, we have the Collectonothronicus. Now, the main reason why it is just barely in the top 10 is mainly just because of the non-feathered parts. Now, the feathers are bright orange and look really good, but then there's the charcoal gray. It looks awful, and it just completely ruins the figure for me, hence why it only just barely gets on here. At number 9, we have the Safari Great Dinos Therizinosaurus. Now, on paper, this thing looks okay, as it's fully feathered and a decent brown coloring, but it all falls apart because of just how boring it is. It's absolutely boring. It's just a bland brown color, and as well as that, the proportions are not 100% correct. Like, the tail is way too short and also way too flat, while the neck is way longer by comparison. So, it just does not look good, and it's just boring, and the head looks ugly. I just do not like it. At number 8, we have the Schleich 2014 Therizinosaurus. Now, the main problem with this version is just the colors. Although, yes, it does have some good scientific accuracy with scaly and feathery segments, just like real big birds like ostriches, that's kind of where the positives end for me. Well, except for the articulated arms and jaw. Besides that, there's a lot of negatives, such as the colors are way too bright and silly, and the articulated jaw and arms are also mildly goofy. Especially the face. The face is pretty goofy and looks like a monster, not an actual animal. I just cannot believe that this is a real creature that happened to be turned into a toy. It just looks like a figure, not really an actual animal. Hence, it's at number 8. At number 7, we go way back in time to the Safari Limited 1993 Therizinosaurus. Now, of course, being about 25 years old, this thing has not aged well. For one thing, it's entirely scaly, and it's a tripod pose using its claw as a third standing point. And honestly, it's very hard to compare it to a real Therizinosaurus because of how scaly and just different it looks to the modern representations and depictions of it. So that definitely has some severe points knocked away from it. But I do also enjoy the bright teal coloring that it has. So it's very pleasing to the eye. So it at least has that. But the scientific inaccuracies are very clear. At number 6, we have the Schleich 2018 Therizinosaurus. Now, this version is not that different from the Schleich 2014 version, but it has a much better paint job, making it less goofy. Although the sculpt is still not the best, which definitely is going to cost it from getting into the top 5, it's at least an improvement over the other version. Thank goodness. At number 5, we have the Papotherezinosaurus. Now, this is very good in some areas, but surprisingly not good in other areas. For one thing, the arms are way too small, and it's also a tripod figure, and it lacks feathers. So, yeah, it doesn't 100% have no feathers, but it just has a lacking amount. I was expecting more feathers, and that was pretty disappointing. Although, it definitely makes up for it in other areas, such as a very well done articulated jaw, and great papo detail, which is to be expected. The Papotherezinosaurus is a mixed bag, and that's how it just barely gets on to number 5 on this list. At number 4, we have the Collecta Standard 2012 Therizinosaurus. Now, this figure is very well done, with feathery and non-feathery parts, making it very much resemble a ostrich. It also has long and very intimidating claws, and overall just looks pretty good. It's a decent all-around figure, although it isn't the most eye-catching with its brown feathers. Despite this, I'm at least intrigued by its green crest. So it at least has something intriguing about it. But besides that, it's just decent all around, and a good Therizinosaurus figure. At number 3, we have the Bullyland Therizinosaurus. Now, my main reason for loving this figure so much is mainly just because of how good it looks. I like the bright brown and gold on its body, as well as its bright white, lovely face and stripes. It's just such a nice, eye-catching figure. And it also has articulated arms, which is very original, only ever done by Schleich. And this one, in my opinion, does it better. So, yeah, it's another one of those all-around decent figures, and I love it. At number 2, we have the Carnegie Bapiosaurus. Now, the main reason why I rank this so high is mainly just because I had a lot of desire to get this figure, and when I got it in person, I was not disappointed. Although yes, it's a tripod, and for a Bapiosaurus, it is very oversized, it just looks so good. Like, I just love the colors, I just love the look of it. It's just such a great looking figure that it really does make up for its two big flaws. I think it's a very redeemable figure, but not perfect. And that's why it's so close to number 1. However, there's one figure that is just slightly better than it. At number 1, we have the Collecta Deluxe Therizinosaurus. Now, like the standard version, it has a very ostrich-like feel to it with feathery parts and non-feathery parts. As well as that, it's much more bright and eye-catching, so it actually is flat-out beautiful. I just love how it looks. It looks amazing. Although the only problem really is the pose, since it has balancing issues. But besides that, everything else is amazingly well done, and that's why it is the number 1 Therizinosaurus figure for me. Do you agree with my list? What's your favorite Therizinosaurid figure? Type it down in the comments below, and also comment down if you want me to make more of these. And see you guys next time. Bye!